watching. It's going to be great. I'm Taylor Reflections, Noble, of course, joined by Golden Boy and Bala TW as we head into GENG versus Charlotte Phoenix. Let's talk about our teams real quick. Charlotte Phoenix, we'll start off with them. Bala, how are they looking?
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of a little bit of an unknown quantity for a lot of people. We've seen them in a few tournaments, especially since the T1 Invitational. And since then, not necessarily making a huge splash, but I think in this one, they kind of had, making it out of groups. Now we're going to see them here in the quarterfinals. And this is the first time I think we're really going to get a good vision into what they can provide for playoff Valorant in a sense.
Yeah. I did want to point out, so I want to give my boy a shout out, Meta Pusher. He's the coach of this team, the Charlotte Phoenix. And I was casting, I want to say it was a T1 Nursery Gamers event when we saw Charlotte Phoenix for the first time. And in anticipation of that, I was asking him questions about the team. And he did give me some insight in that the team actually has a majority Counter-Strike background, with the exception being, I believe it's going to be Spirit, who comes from Overwatch and also played for Fnatic in Apex, which I do recall casting Spirit in Apex. So I think that, you know, it's nice to see this combination, right, of Meta Pusher, who is a coach for the squad. In his background, he was a Paladins world champion. So you're getting a lot of players from different backgrounds coming into this whole thing to create this team. And they are really looking for the leadership of Anger and Shots, who are actually the, you know, as he said, the old head CS veterans. They're the ones that are kind of just like guiding, you know, the rest of the team and keeping them on the right track here. So this is a squad that's clearly just been putting in a lot of work in the preparation category. But as we saw with Code 7, preparation is great, but is it going to pay off in the end? And are you going to be able to execute?
That's the big question, right? And you got to be able to execute, especially going against GENG, obviously a favorite in this matchup. I know we talked a little bit ahead of time before we went live about their inconsistencies, but at least when it came to group play yesterday, they performed very well on Haven, which is our first map. They ended up beating Oxygen, Supremacy, and Triumph, both 13-4. So you know they're warmed up and they're ready to go. Hopefully they'll bring that consistency in today. Either way, unique thing about GENG is the fact that they did have a choice on which side they wanted to play on for the last two of Bind and Ascent. They opted to go for the attacking side. So they actually wanted to carry that spike first, which is incredibly unique. Most teams prefer that defensive setup, come in with a nice lead, and then carry over into the offensive side, but not GENG. That's a bit unique, but either way, I know this match is going to be a great one. I'm always supporting the GENG boys, the young guns looking to achieve more success, but hopefully, like you said, Golden Boy, in the pre-talk there, inconsistencies don't catch up to them today. But either way, boys, take it away. Let's get it started.
Thank you so much, Reflections. Yeah, Bala, let's talk about GENG as well. They are... I've... Ever since the T1, no, was it T1, or I'm trying to remember which tournament it was that they won, where they debuted.
It was the beta one. It was the T1 Invitational and beta.
Yeah, the T1 Invitational and beta. Yeah, it's just been like 50 different ones, and they've all been named the same thing. So yeah, that was their coming out party. That was the moment when the world was put on blast for GENG. And since then, it's kind of just been a little quiet from them. They haven't really had the standout tournaments that we expect of a team, especially carrying the banner of GENG.
Yeah, I think since the beta, it's been kind of a little rough for them. Obviously, they had the decent performance in the Cash Up charity events earlier in the week. But, you know, the T1 Nerd Street Gamers Ignition Series, for example, was a little rough for them. I think they had a group stage exit, or very, very early on in the brackets for them. Now they're playing against Charlotte Phoenix. We'll see what they can put up, but you're right. It's kind of inconsistent, and they want to basically switch their reputation now in the actual full release of the game back to where they were on top of the world in the beta.
And now the Charlotte Phoenix team, and actually Terms and Anger, are going to be dealing with this push here on A side, and Gwyn and GMD just march on there. GMD gets 2 kills after swapping out that frenzy so quickly, and they're going to plant spike. It's up for the retake here. They are simply just going to need to try and force their way through this one. Got Spirit along with Shots, and I really don't think that they're going to have much in the way to work with here. Also, you'll be noticing another interesting little spectator glitch. Everyone's named Suede, so the things you discover as you spectate and commentate Valorant, good times.
That was a quick one.
That was.
They walked straight up short A. They got the site, and then the retake was pretty chaotic because they didn't really have too many players left to actually find themselves some space on the site. So with the spike down and the impetus on the defending side to come retake, it was easy for GENG to clean that one up. That makes it the pistol round win for them. And as we saw in the last game, Haven on attack can be quite devastating if you can get rolling a little bit. Actually, we saw that in even the Cloud9 TSM game for both of those teams. 3 players moving down short A. Really close, and they did clear long A, but now they're heading right back over to that GMD. Nice. This is going to be a perfect molly. Catches one. He has to dash away. He gets 1, 2, but there's still one there. He could still make this hurt if there's anything, but no.
He's dead.
We have Michael, who actually is able to trade that and clears the angles perfectly. So that eco round attempt from Charlotte Phoenix is not going to work out at all. Just completely denied.
Yeah, the good old-fashioned corner molly play when someone likes to play tight at A short. Sometimes it works out really well for you, where you're hoping that they're just going to push that without checking their angles. But you know, to do that against the likes of GENG, just not really going to happen here. And this is an anti-eco round, right? So they're going up against guns. Shots has been identified. Don't really think there's going to be much of an opportunity for him to be able to do anything here. If he gets a kill, that'd be nice. You're just going to make him spend some money in the next round that he was probably going to end up spending anyway. But regardless of the fact, though, it's GENG who get 2 rounds easily. Started off with GMD getting 2 picks quickly.
Straight down short A. I like the approach. I like the caution from them. That's one of the things you have to do when you're clearing these double peak angles where you have to peak on both sides. Obviously they made some changes around on Haven since the release of the game to make those angles a little bit less prevalent on all sides, where you have basically 2 90-degree cuts. Obviously the box been added there, right, where we're looking for Michael, and even further on a lot of different places. So it makes it slightly easier to counter those eco strats where you get the crossfire right down on both sides.
And doing the same thing again.
And something that they've been doing is throwing that cyber cage to cross long. And that is going to make it so that they might be able to switch it up, toss a little mix up in there, and go through that cyber cage to peek the player down on long A. Still 2 here. They've hung on because there's no presence anywhere else. Run it back through on the 3rd round. He's got so much, and Win is going to take out Anger with the operator shot. Another one, too. And again, they kind of push on the site and lose 3 members and have nothing really to work with on this retake. Spirit's going to try to lurk forward with no teammate in sight, and Michael will take him out. Shots was so far back that there's no chance for him to really trade with that and make this a possibility to win the round.
Yeah, almost as if that he should have just hung back. There is no reason for Spirit to go through the smoke and take that, given how far back Shots was. But this was shades of what we saw in that first round, Bala, where they kind of did the same thing, except they got stopped up by the wall and they just didn't have any options. Evidently just needed to rotate around. It was just a bit of a rough going here, and Shots now going to have to open up, or hope, I should say, that he's going to catch some exit frags. But I don't think they're going to be going that far into the map. They got exactly what they wanted. Shots can keep his pretty little prime skin Vandal, and they'll take the win. 3-0 for GENG. Charlotte Phoenix need to muster up a response here, Bala, because they have been operating the same play, running the same play, and it's been working every time.
Yeah, I mean, even on that eco round, I know I don't usually put too much stock on it, but it's been A on every single approach, and they're working it methodically.
Same A hit, the same one.
And it's working, like literally clearing every angle, and that's a problem for Charlotte Phoenix, because if they've exposed this, look, they've pulled 3 players now over towards this. This is going to be a long A peak this time, and they tried this already. They tried going down short, even Brimstone here, so a full 4 stack over it. The only player is Sova back behind. Shots with the Vandal is actually what they're going to be working off, and it does work. 2 kills now. They trade everybody down long A. They tried to go through that cyber cage like we talked about, with Brimstone adding in addition to a smoke. They have no way to fall actually back through that, so they pick up the guns. Player 1, though, will find the player in C all the way down the cubby on long, and that is the approach now. But they should have 3 weapons. against the two people here. Still a smoke probably available for Brim, but they have the ult to fall back on as they go all the way down long. There's Anger. He has one more too, so they could delay this. This could be difficult, but there's even a molly plus the orbital strike, and Effie's is going to go all the way up through Garage to flank this too.
And that actually came from... Ooh, okay, Casey, you're just going to get a little wild there. So I actually really like the way that this round had unfolded for Charlotte Phoenix, but now things are starting to just get a little out of hand, and that will do it. And the reason why I like the way that started, I believe it was going to be Spirit won the battle there against Jet on C Long. Needed to get the gun though, because it did it with a classic and got picked off there by Brimstone. So it goes to show that even though Spirit thought he had just that one kill and would have been able to secure himself a weapon, they were playing around one another. They weren't completely spreading the map. They have thrown 3 at A, 2 at C. You don't necessarily expect that. And the way that their defense has been playing out here is it's almost as if they're reacting, right? They're reacting rather than controlling, because the score is 4-0 and everything that you've done so far hasn't worked. Now, with Cherms pushing out a little further and long, I like that play, but no one's going to be there for him to take any kind of benefit from that.
Anger's been the only person here at B. They do have a trap wire on the B main, so they're going to be able to get the information. There's the wall on the left side. Oh, no. Nice shot from Anger through the smoke on the GMD. They will get the spike planted. And now they have to make this approach from a bunch of different angles. We will have Cherms on the flank, but there's a trap wire there. They'll know. That's so important. And they also have to have one through Garage. Otherwise, they have the setup to be able to take that. That fight all the way back down in window is going to be so key.
Mikhail, I was told, is Mikhail, by the way, Bala. We gotta say it with the accent, so Vansili was right. But Mikhail in the flank there. Managed to get one off, and here comes the orbital strike. It's gonna roast Effie's. Mikhail's gonna go into sight though, and he is gonna get the kill. And he'll be able to get out of there with his gun. Everything is going great for GENG.
That flank is so difficult to deal with when you don't send anybody to retake through Garage. And yes, sometimes it's worth even just to send one on a 1v1 kind of gamble 50-50 fight, because otherwise that will happen. I have Mikhail coming right on the flank and basically solidifying the round. You had Cherms try to flank a little late because of that trap wire, but he was taken out in the 1 versus 1 that he 100% needed to win, because if you're holding from window, it's too easy. There's a push through grass, only pistols on this side. Player 1 is already so far up long C, and there's nobody in there at all. He might even get the information all the way up.
Look at the way that
push through window.
Getting in their face though, Bala. I mean, your pistol round, they're just going to be playing around for one another to see if they can extract any weapons away.
It feels like that's the only time that they're really putting in thought to the rounds, though, is on these ecos. Yes, I think that happens quite a lot, quite frequently. It's like, okay, well, it's an eco round. We have to do something crazy to try to get some guns. But we've seen three ecos now, and they all have a different plan. One time it was up short A. One time it was with the gun that they saved on Spirit down long A. And in this case, they pushed down mid. But Effie's is there. Everybody is paying attention to these angles and knowing that these are possibilities. They know every time it's an eco round on the other side that there is going to be something fishy up. So it's easy for them to react.
Well, now it'll be up to Spirit here to react. He's got an ADS. Mikhail here just waiting, and a headshot. Got spike down. Also just got that ballin' animation there with the Elder Flame skin. Did you buy it, Ballin? Did you get it? Did you take out a small business loan?
Yeah, APR of 8%, 10-year term.
You know, I did it, and I didn't know that you could buy the skins individually, so I just bought everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
You, my friend, need to watch some Valoranting to get some advice from our friends Pansy and Moses, because that is not a sound financial decision, my friend.
Oh, but what was sound transition was when shot there on KZ, prompting that res to come out. But yeah, no, the mistakes were, I would say mistakes were made. I mean, I upgraded like three of the four, so I'm satisfied with my choices. Both reses are going to be used here, Bala. So you got some weakened players that are going to look to try and take control of site. 3 players marching down A long. Win is going to find one. Maybe he can locate a second. He's got Effie's there to back him up too. Effie's 2 kills for him. And even though Anger got 1 pick, now that means A site is wide open. KZ waiting around with the op here. I heard he was the prodigy for this team, according to Meta Pusher. But we haven't quite seen anything yet from KZ to assume that thus far. And it is now up to shots. On top of heaven. We'll definitely need a prayer. But he ain't gonna get it, and GMD ends it.
Faceplant instead.
That was brutal too. That was just like a that was like an episode of Jackass, just, you know, like just like Steve-O just face planting there. It's even funnier with Sage too. I don't know why it's funny with Sage whenever I see it, because it's like, well, just the animations in general.
Maybe it just reminds you of your play, because, you know,
yeah. Damn, I didn't realize that today was Go for GB's Jugular. I didn't know that that was going to be the play of the day here. I respect it. Ooh. So when, you know, the corner could have been abused there, but doesn't end up happening. Spirit doesn't have any Hunter's Fury to try and go off of that, but it's going to force him away.
It's the same thing again. It's like kind of like just a random approach from the defense. 2 players on short A again. This has been cleared before, and now there's nobody on B. Last time we had 1 player at least in Anger watching into this, but he's in garage. They've taken the site. They've walled it off like everybody does, and it's free. They're gonna have info on the flank. They even have trap wires on both sides, C and A, and player 1's looking at it. Another one too. He's not just giving up because you get 1 flank. He knows there's a possibility for more, and this is so difficult. We see 8-0 on this attacking side, and I really don't see any way in for Charlotte Phoenix unless they can, I don't know, like maybe play a bit more standard on sometimes, or maybe when they have these plans on the eco rounds, transfer that to the gun rounds, because we saw that one time down long A with the weapon on Spirit that he saved. That was a possibility, but it just feels like they're taking completely uneven trades on aggressive pushes or aggressive gambles, and it's not working out at all.
You're seeing a difference in how a team plays around all the elements of the squad, and then everyone on Charlotte Phoenix kind of just being flustered and not able to work around one another. There is no effective trading, as you had already noted. There is no effective pre-match planning, and GENG just gets all the info that they need early on. Like even right now with this, you know, they're going to get this lookout, and while that was a great slow orb, they don't really have anything to try and follow up with it. It's all just going to be left up to Spirit. There's the orbital strike down, flash out. Spirit's going to be tucked away in the back, and that has already been a job done. But oh, he gets himself too. Spirit finally comes alive. That's 3 kills for him. Is it enough to motivate this team to get their first round win? So far, it has been a shellacking in the favor of GENG, and Mikhail is looking to keep this thing going as he's inside of sight. But churns over by Wood, gets traded out, and that is effective trading that you're seeing here. But GMD with the far plan, and finally, prayers have been answered. Anger gets the kill and gives Charlotte Phoenix 1 on the board.
It's Spirit Bomb with the 3K, the collat to start things off to give GB his 2nd of the day and of his life. And finally, there is something from the ashes of Charlotte Phoenix. Finally get around on the board, but again, I have to ask, what more is there? Because that was kind of just like, okay, Spirit got a double, and it was almost like he wasn't going to get that, but unfortunately, or fortunately for him, the Phoenix run it back was knocked down, so he didn't even see that Spirit was in the back side of that after Orbital Strike pushed him there. And here we go through the Cyber Cage, nobody on long A this time. For Charlotte Phoenix, which we've seen time and time again, there's only 2 people here this time. They switched the Cypher over towards different sites, but he doesn't even have trap wires down on the map this time. That's how low the economy is for Charlotte Phoenix.
All they could do is just get weaponry. Jet with a judge on the opposite side of the wall there. And you got Effie's doing the due diligence. Spirit.
Fake.
Maybe looking for it, but this is going to be that standard play here. Here comes KZ. KZ waiting for this. He's got a few, but he gets 2 with the judge. 3 with the judge. There we go, KZ. They were not anticipating that one, and hey, it's scrappy, but I love seeing it.
Wonderful stuff from KZ. He's going to cloud burst and get away. They've got the spike now down. It was a fake towards B, but KZ stuck and held his position because he had to. He couldn't cross without any cloud burst or anything like that, and he's not going to give it up too fast. Quinn, though, makes 1 shot. 2, he dashes forward on the site. That gets Anger's position up. Effie's almost does it, but is not quick enough to flick onto Cherms' face. They still make them pay, and they still make this economy situation a little worse, but they have the operator and at least 1 gun. They're going to be able to drop and buy in another time, even though they won the rounds. GENG, still so much room to play in, and they're kind of, it feels like, I guess in this case, it was GENG trying to sell that fake and not being ready for still people to be on short A, which caused that. They threw the flash out, but I guess KZ just shut it down with the judge close range. Too easy for him.
High school weapon. But that also shows discipline from Charlotte Phoenix, because I think in the previous rounds, they were over-rotating at times when they really didn't need to. And they're just moving around the map. I actually, yeah, they're moving around the map and reacting well to whatever it is that GENG does over on A long. It's not necessarily like a full commit. You still have vision on B site, and they haven't given up anything yet, which is a huge plus for them. Still some more stall coming in here. A few ults are going to be online. Keep that Brimstone alive as long as you can, because that could be the difference maker for you. Maybe a Hunter's Fury 2 in the back site. So if someone goes for the plant, which they have been favoring, that front metal B plant with the wall on the left side, or on either side, really depends on the team. They're going to get right inside a garage now. They're hearing this movement happen. They've walled it off, and now they're going to go in for this C side. One player's going to be left away in the back. There goes the Hunter's Fury. Spirit's going to get value for that one. He's going to tag up a lot of players there, making them very weak. And then Anger's cleaning it up with that orbital strike, but they're still going to be on the site. A few seconds left remaining. Need to get that spike down. And Effie's will accomplish that task for him. Gwen's going to be watching in the back. Doesn't get the kill, though. And the shot looked like it was going to land, but did not. It was a little too far right. Effie's in default. And just like that, Charlotte Phoenix now have responded. And I will be happy with an 8-4 conclusion if they can continue to add on to this, given how this game started and just fell out of their hands completely, Bala.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, you see round or halves go like this where it starts terribly for one side, and then they start to find a little momentum, and that carries through for them on the other side. So this is still possible, and the last rounds have been pretty conclusive. I'd have to say the last 2 at least. That first one was kind of like, okay, well, that was Spirit hitting a collat and then basically showing off, but the next 2 were basically just well thought out plans and sticking, not necessarily plans, but sticking to their guns and playing strong, because you're going to peek down. Ooh. There's one Defiant. He misses it, though. That could have been very important, although the res was available, so baiting that out at least.
Oh, KZ's got this real tight angle here. Okay. The wall goes down, and as soon as Mikhail's going to go into this here, flashes out. Oh, it doesn't connect with the shots. So Tailwind's out of there, gets out of dodge. Spirit also is going to get flashed. GMD gets the kill on Spirit. So the value for that run it back certainly going to be there. Here's KZ, though, on site. It just hit a clothesline on Mikhail, but is not enough. And once again, they'll take C site. The difference this time, they have plenty of bodies to work with. And Germs just gets like just shredded on the side from Win. That's 2 shots. And don't sleep on Win, by the way. Everyone's always hyping up Wardell for due reason, but don't sleep on my boy Win. He is nasty.
I mean, that was the battle of the beta, right? It was Wardell and Win. in a certain sense. Those two teams battling for who was the best at the end of it. And it will be the first half way in favor of GENG. Way in favor. Especially on the attacking side. We've seen some lopsided ones in the past, but this is basically looking like what we saw from that last game with
together with
Code 7.
Code 7.
And, yep, exactly. So can Charlotte Phoenix do what Code 7 did not and actually mount a defense on the second half? Or an attack, sorry.
FE's decided to go full utility, which makes sense. You're going to get a considerable amount of stall on C. Your chance of survival, though, pretty limited going up against a Ghost. Slow orb should be coming out any second here. There's one, actually. It's going to be a slow orb over to the side, and then the wall out wide, allowing his teammates to actually get inside of sight here. So 2 slows. And that actually was a really smart reactive play there from FE's. I love that usage of the walls and the slows, not allowing anyone to get in there so that when it's time, they can actually start to overtake on site. But they now need to locate these kills. And they're going to be a little weakened, a little battered, but not completely bruised. Walls down now. Quinn looking for one. Player 1, though, does land the headshot. GMD pushes forward with the frenzy. Now you're going to have this spike out and expose it. I think they might try and go for that defuse there, or at least I thought that they were going to, but Spirit around the corner, big round win for them. They really needed that one, Bala.
That was huge. That was so important for the momentum swinging in their favor, like we talked about towards the end of that, once they won those 3 rounds in a row. Pistol round will give them some breathing room here on this attacking side and potentially give them a way back into this game. It's still a long ways to go, but this should give them this round win pretty easily.
I just loved everything that FE's did there to allow his team to come back. They just never got any kind of angles. And then Spirit on that wide flank, he read that one gorgeously. Mikhail goes out and so they decided to go straight for it, and then they're getting slowed instantly there. A brilliant read by the rival Sage. They're giving him nothing too, Bala.
That was shades of what we saw Charlotte Phoenix attempt on the defensive side. Was basically just stacking one side. Everybody trying to go through garage, but Charlotte Phoenix is prepared. Insta slow. They know it's a possibility, and that will catch all 4 members as Huynh is left by his lonesome, trying to walk up through garage. But again, this is the free round that they needed, and they made it pretty much flawless, unless Huynh can do something magic. But he doesn't have any smoke, so trying to push down long C when there's 3 people looking at you is almost impossible. So a free round win here for Charlotte Phoenix to make it 5. Make the deficit only 4. Things are looking possible from what looked very, very scary in the first half.
And that's why I said if they were able to get 8-4, you're then talking about a completely different matchup than what we were seeing previously when they lost 8 straight, Bala. You know, so but that didn't happen ultimately. But now they're at 9-5. You take this one round at a time. You have no other choice. You got an. I think they already have an op online on their end. This is doable. It's going to be hard against GENG, but it is very, very doable with the way that they're playing. And Shots has had some great just initial plays with those slow orbs. It also was the defining factor in that pistol round too, what he did. But not if he's playing an off angle here on C long. He gets the better of KZ. He was not expecting that at all.
It was a gamble to stay with the Spectres on a lot of those, although that could be a bug on the spectator screen regardless.
Who knows?
Slow moments in this round. Yeah, right. Who knows?
We'll just see the colored, purple show up out of nowhere. We're just like, why is it purple?
No, it is Spectres though. On the attacking side too. A bit of a gamble, but could work out if they do end up winning this round, because then they can stay with it on another one. Player 1 though quickly takes out Cherms. And they will be able to walk into this B site. Player 1 is looking at them, though, and Amali will keep them out for time. Gives them ability to scout a little bit more on the other sides and figure out what's going on this map right now. It is going to go B side. They wall it off. They have an orbital strike if they need to back off and play this retake or post-plant situation. Jet will be on the flank. Phoenix is already close up garage, so if they try to retake that, there's no chance. Sage is the only one in the site.
Look
Two
out for
players
Win.
going to push out a garage.
They know exactly where Win is, and you heard that gun too. Oh man, that is just a rough one, dude. You heard the gigantic shot of the judge. You knew it was coming. There was just nothing you could do there. And now GENG gets 10.
Gavel was put down from Effie's onto the face.
We're really going to exhaust all of those judge.
We will. All the casters over the entire history. It's too easy.
We haven't gotten a Terminator 2 reference, though, yet. I think Vansili could put one together.
Oh, yeah. He's the man for it.
So 2 rounds away to match point, 3 to the win here for GENG. Some life from the other side, Charlotte Phoenix. They're going to need every single round at this point. They started this one off in a raucous fashion. And then when allowing Gwyn to be able to just pop off like that, and he's going to get this next one too against Terms. It's just, Terms was like, I get it, right? You're looking, you're trying to clear it, but Gwyn is just holding that one down for so long. And now this C long is going to be open for them. C site is going to be open for them, but the quick rotation is going to come through here from Effie's. Player 1 waiting. If anyone tries to get onto site, not going to hear anything. We'll have that orbital strike to be able to use. But Charlotte Phoenix are going to have to rethink their approach here.
Waiting for a pick on long C. Nothing shows itself, so they back off and maybe go to approach A. They might end up running into this orbital strike that you were talking about. That player 1 just has held out. And at that point, once they get towards that A site, that might lock up the round. If you could just deny the spike from entering into the site, it could be enough. 30
Anger
seconds left in the round.
Too, I think Anger is going to burst out of this one with an orbital strike. Some smokes and an orbital strike is going to come through. I would not be shocked.
So far back, 20 seconds too. Spike not even moving. They're going to res, and I think that they're just going to sit here. Yep. Held right on top of the res. 16 seconds. It wasn't actually to deny. He was just waiting for that.
That's so mean. Oh my god. They just held it on the res there, because if that res came through, that's looking at the scoreboard and recognizing what your opponent has and what they are more than likely to do in order for them to win the round out. As soon as that happened, the entirety of that push just became scattered. They scattered them like cockroaches, and then they squished them, but with their bare hands, which is kind of disgusting. Use sanitizer.
No, you're right. It was perfect. I mean, the moment that they're in that B connect or that A connector, basically to split between A short and A long, it forces them to split. Some people have to go back to T-spawn. Some people have to go up short. Some people have to go long A based on the positioning, and that completely throws off any approach that you had. My idea was definitely worse, and obviously the res as well to keep that from actually happening. Regardless, they basically spent way too much time to gather that play. So Charlotte Phoenix, unfortunately, is too slow for player 1. And they'll make an approach. He might actually use an updraft to get over it. Yes, an orbital strike too. Kai's might take a little bit, KZ might take a little bit of damage in there, but they trade both the players down on A. They have the site 4 on 3. Quinn this time is not going to push through like we saw in the first half. They're going to take it slow and get ready on this retake.
I have a wall as well as the slow orb. Run it back too. Let's see what they manage to use with this.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't get anything with the blaze wall. That's a rough one to see. So KZ continues to use the blade storm here. Every time you get a kill with it, it recharges right back up. And just count your blessings and get away from this one. Not worth investing the op into it. You got more rounds to play around with. Allow them to have this brief win in the battle, but they are looking toward the war and winning this one outright here in game number 1. Anger is on exit frag flank duty along with the rest of this team, as a matter of fact, but they're not going to run into anyone here, at least not in the time allotted. So Charlotte Phoenix, good job on that one. And KZ, man, he was the difference maker there with the jet ult.
That he was, rushing right on the site, the smoke through, catches him off guard, and gets 3 kills on the round, all 3 kills that were found for his side. They start to claw back a little bit here. And again, we'll see if GENG switches things up. They are going to go aggressive down long C. We haven't seen this pretty much all game, maybe from one player on Charlotte Phoenix's side on the defense. This time it's GMD and Effie's. And an Owl Drone will spot that instantly. So that plan completely shut down, and they have to back off and switch gears.
Well, they back away only to then just regroup. A 5-man march down long C. Effies can slow this thing down in one fell swoop here. Walls out. Effie's looking to do the same thing that he did in that pistol round, but this time around they're going to have some big boy guns in order to shoot down that wall and obliterate it, thus ending Effie's life in the back of the map. 3 players left standing for GENG as they just drop all the way around, and I think they realize this is, if they want to group together, they're just going to have to either A, look for some exit frags, or most importantly, just save those weapons. Because they've given up 2 in a row here, Bala. The economy will only just get worse and worse and worse if they keep trying to force these fights.
GENG have to regroup, figure out what the idea is here. Against Charlotte Phoenix's kind of mix-ups. It's been twice that they've gone towards long C and won that fight, won that battle. And they did it cautiously, the Owl Drone, to stop that aggressive approach from GENG. And things have kind of spiraled quickly out of control for GENG. Obviously, they're still in the lead. They still are in control, and they should be able to close this one out. But from what started an 8-0, things have got to, like, you went from feeling on top of the world, you went from feeling like this match is going to be the easiest thing in the world, to all of a sudden being within 4 and having to actually close it out on the second half in a very close match. That
There
could
are some positives.
that could
to take
change
away from
some.
here.
Yeah, that could change some mental though for GENG.
There's some positives to take away here for Charlotte Phoenix, man. This is not the kind of half I thought we were going to see, given how things were unfolding in the first half of action. But now, though, we got ourselves a look over toward B, yanking away a Brimstone smoke. Some time's going to be wasted. GMD inside of the garage here. If they get fast and try and push inside, but they don't have anything to try and distract. They don't have anything for the vision, right? And Hwin's going to be blocked off completely. Can updraft up top, but that would be a real dicey, risky play in order for him to do. Player 1, though, he's going to get a kill onto KZ, and then Hwin around the right side on Churms. Spike has to go down as it does, but now you have a pin for your Sage. And that shot, who is just stuck between a rock and a hard place, met the end of a barrel there for the op, and that is going to be outside of this one. They're giving it a lot of delay, which is admirable. They're going to have to shoot through this one, and there goes GMD around the flank there. As that Anger is very mad about the way that one goes down, and now they're going to be sitting at match point.
Well done from Hwin. He was Hwin in the site with the operator. And player 1 also threw the smoke to start that round off. It looked like they might have the site for free as they smoked off the A-Link. But player 1 gets it. Hwin stays alive in the back of the site and waits. Yeah. They come through onto that A-Link side, gets 1. And then also we saw GMD with the patience on the flank. He waited and waited and waited for the entire round until his team is basically cleared up into B. And then he comes on the flank to just solidify the round. They're all focused on trying to regroup and retake that B site after they've lost it. And GMD comes in to just deny it.
He just didn't do anything fancy, Hwin, right? He was back, didn't need to updraft, just waited it out. And player 1, he's good for those so many times. He's just a very reliable player on this GENG roster. Now on to match point here for GENG. They could walk away with this one with the 13-7 score line. No picks quite yet, though. Some ults are going to be online. You got an orbital strike there. Spirit's going to scout this one out on C-Long, see what he can find. He may have seen the Jet there at the final moments. I don't know, because the Jet was up drafting on top of that structure. They're now going to focus attention over toward A side. And this is where I get concerned, by the way, Balla, because of that orbital strike.
Yeah. We saw it be so good the last time that player one had it. But 35 seconds this time. He's coming in through heaven. There's going to be the approach. Some delay. There's the orbital strike to get them all pushed up through long. They split them up. Still 2 players back, but the picks go in the way of now GENG all of a sudden. Mikael gets 3 on the round, and he's now wondering how this is going to go. Anger. And one more from Charlotte Phoenix. KZ. There's one through the side. Oh! Yes! KZ gets one as well. 3K for him. Anger down below. He's going to be able to look and peek. They might have the crossfire now as they peek around the corner, and they do wall it off, and one's above it. Solo HP. Anger looking at heaven still. Both players are in the spawn. This is dangerous.
Oh, KZ's got the angle here. If he does come around the corner, he's going to do this. Gets one. Looking for the ace. One more. The ace for KZ. Popping off. Keeping Charlotte Phoenix alive.
Oh my goodness, KZ is showing off not only the movements, not only the KZ, but also the accuracy on his operator shots to get the entries and then to get the follow-ups. They have actually kept themselves alive in what looked like the round might go away from them with the ultimate from the orbital strike from player one that you called out, Golden Boy. You called it out. It delayed them. It split them up, but it doesn't matter if you get KZ firing off on all cylinders like that, working with situations that are dire, that you need to be hitting these shots. Could be aggressive though for Win. Down through Garage. There's also people coming down in through B mid, and GMD has gotten 1, 2, 3 players. And they've also got the Sage down. No res available.
No respect here on this push. This is GENG just wanting to end this game right here, right now. You are left up to your final 2 players. You got a Cypher and a Sova. Somehow they're going to have to try and work through the entire might of this GENG roster. And while it has been a valiant effort from Charlotte Phoenix, GENG have been in the driver's seat for a majority of this game. And it is looking dire right now.
How do they recover? It's going to have to be off the hands of Spirit with his operator. And they're not going to give him any room, though. Player one is shoulder peeking, and you also have Effie's right on the side of Garage. This is a well-done setup. Effie's will take contact. Player one will swing. Here it comes. One on the side. Player one swings. Spirit does respond. 1 versus 3. Almost gets the second on the Phoenix. So close, but low HP now.
Yeah, 45 HP. Does have Spike, but the moment he goes for that, I was going to say the Spike, or if he tried to poke CT, he was going to get crushed. And that is going to do it. GENG does manage to take game number 1 here in this quarterfinal. They looked great on their attacking side. Charlotte Phoenix did show some signs of life toward the tail end there. KZ certainly lived up to that superstar potential that Meta Pusher had talked about, but they're going to need a lot more than that in order for them to beat GENG in game 2.
I think they just need to come out to a start. Yes. Remember, this was 8-0 for GENG to start this match off, and now 13-8 is the end scoreline. That is 100% a success for Charlotte Phoenix after what looked like this was going to be a stomp through basically all of the best of 3. Now there's some signs of life, and they've put the question to GENG, hey, we're actually here to play.
Yeah, I think all the jitters are definitely out, right? Charlotte Phoenix here to play. If across any esport, though, we know if you start off with an 8-0 deficit, you're going to be in trouble, and it's so hard to come back from that. And Charlotte Phoenix just couldn't get the ball rolling early enough, unfortunately. But now I do think, and Ball, I'm right with you. I think now as we do head into binds, I'm thinking Charlotte Phoenix is absolutely going to be able to step it up and compete. That ace from KZ was insane. And mind you, that's another $10 now that I have to donate. Me and Vincili have like a little thing going on. For every ace, we donate $10 to, of course,
I'll double it. So 20, so we got 40 now.
Is that right?
There
we're
go.
at 40. Okay, GB Balla, you hopping in? Hold on. I know you just got thrown
absolutely.
into this.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, how much money you putting up? I'm putting up 10. GB's got the money. Maybe you do too. You go eights, yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's fair enough. We're not all international icons. With that being said,
Global
though,
icon, national treasure. It's fine. We all make mistakes.
Excuse me. You know what? You're right. You're right.
Fine,
Let me put
fine.
some respect on the name.
Local
but
treasure,
seriously,
local icon.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, Walla. You're the worst, dude.
you guys are ridiculous, but I love it. Either way, fantastic matchup, I think. And I really do hope Bind is going to be a different story. One of the unique talking points that we had is the fact that GENG chose the attacking side for not only map 2, but map 3. They, by default, because of Charlotte Phoenix, got the attacking side here on Haven, which is the preferred side either way with 3 bomb sites. But with that being said, though, I got to say, hopefully we'll see some more pop-up plays from KZ. But at least to recap at Bala, GENG, they played that incredibly well. They did slow down a little bit, but for the most part, it is fair to say their attacking side is on point.
I think they need to close that game out a little bit earlier, because right now I'm feeling it for Charlotte Phoenix, right? Like, and I almost am happy that it didn't go to that way that we kind of see games like this go when they come back all the way to sudden death and then they lose the game, because that would have been a little bit more heartbreaking for Charlotte Phoenix.
Sure.
Right now they made the statement, right? They made the statement, hey, like, that was a rough start for us, but we can actually compete. We can hang with you guys, and we're going to hang with you guys on map 2. GENG now is kind of on the opposite side. They're like, wow, guys, we just threw an 8-0 lead. We just threw a 9-3 half to 13-8. And no, it's not completely thrown. They've done what they needed to do, obviously, to win the map. But I think Charlotte Phoenix has some gas still left in the tank.
What do you think, Alex? You in agreement with that? You think they got some gas? What's going on? You supporting your boys of Charlotte Phoenix?
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, look, I think, though, GENG, statistically speaking, they are the team that should win this, right? So any result that comes out of this, any life that we see from Charlotte Phoenix, it's going to be great for this up-and-coming organization. It's going to be great for these 5 players. And that ace from KZ, it's a big motivator, right? Like,
sure.
Hey, you just managed to pull off a crazy play there against GENG. You got to be feeling yourself. Confidence goes a very long way in this. And sometimes you have to be delusionally confident in order for you to pick up some critical wins against some of these big name teams. And that is going to be what they need in game 2 when they go into Bind. As far as what you mentioned with the attacking for GENG going on attack first, I think that now I'm excited to see the composition. I'm excited to see the executes. If they're going on attack first, they clearly have a plan. And if they have a plan, Charlotte Phoenix, I don't know if they're as prepared, because their defense was very scattered.
Yeah, and we're talking about moving into Bind, so obviously we're going to have to see how that works out for GENG. But one thing is for certain, they lead 1-0 in this best of 3, which puts them only 1 map away from securing the victory and securing their spot in semifinals on the bottom side of the bracket. But still, some life was shown from Charlotte Phoenix. Chat, support whoever you want to support. I want to see, do you think GENG closed out 2-0, or will Charlotte Phoenix answer back and force a game 3? We'll find out after this break.
There was a lot of hardship. There was a lot of struggle, because it's just me and my son. I work full-time. Sometimes I pull doubles. Sometimes I'm unable to attend everything.
Did you know that 2 of 5 New York City households, just like Jessica's, don't earn enough to cover the basics? That's 2.5 million New Yorkers who struggle to pay for housing, childcare, food, transportation, healthcare, taxes, and other expenses. Yet, only 1/3 of that number are poor, according to the Federal Poverty Guideline. They are the hidden poor, who are routinely overlooked and undercounted.
My husband had just lost his job. He was struggling, I was struggling. We were falling behind the bills. A month later, that's when we got evicted. And we walked out of there with just the clothes that we had on our backs. I was falling apart, but I had to keep it together because I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter.
A steady job doesn't guarantee a family's self-sufficiency. 84% of households below self-sufficiency standards have at least 1 worker. But it doesn't have to be this way. What we know is that healthy, educated, and financially secure New Yorkers make a safer and more prosperous New York. We also know that government, community-based organizations, corporations, and private donors are essential to building a self-sufficient community. By working together, we can move New Yorkers from crisis to stability to strength.
I see Jalen doing great things. I just want him to do and be everything that he can be and get everything that life has to offer for him.
We all have a role to play. What's yours?
Best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now. Yours to keep. You're wired to be breaking, and while your soul's asleep, I'll be waiting, I'll be holding. You keep on running, you're running, you're running. I keep on chasing, I'm chasing, I'm chasing. You keep on lying, you're lying, you're lying. I keep on pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing. I keep on coming, coming, coming. You keep on touching, touching, touching. I keep on loving, loving, loving. It feels right. Robot love. My passion overheats. You shut me down, I'm fading. My system's on repeat. I'll be waiting, I'll be holding. You keep on running, you're running, you're running. I keep on chasing, I'm chasing, I'm chasing. You keep on lying, you're lying, you're lying. I keep on pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing. I keep on coming, coming, coming. You keep on touching, touching, touching. I keep on loving, loving, loving. It feels right. Robot love.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pulse Arena Invitational in support of United Way of New York City. A lot of money being thrown around, but it's for a fantastic cause. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined alongside Golden Boy and Bala. We're about to get into the game very quickly, but before we do prediction, boys, Bala, how do you think it's going to go?
It's still I'm teetering on the edge of going for Charlotte Phoenix, but I still think I'm going for GENG here. Obviously, the map Bind, I've seen them play this map in fantastic matter a lot of times, even in the group stages everywhere. And these guys are just good. And they showed up again on Haven. I think I'm going to go with the GENG guys again, but I still think that this might be a little closer than we might have expected after the beginnings of that game.
What about you, Alex?
You know, man, I know that you think that GB would be all about the game 3. But I'm just not feeling it, man. I do think that GENG walks away with this one 2-0. Not to take anything away from Charlotte Phoenix. I think they're going to make this one very competitive. Sure. And it's going to be a different look than what we saw in Haven, but GENG does get the win. The stats can't lie. Not twice.
Yeah, no, the stats have definitely been failing me, but you know what? Eventually, it's going to come true, and the stats will be right. Either way, Charlotte Phoenix and the GENG, they do have a history. At least almost a month ago, they did play each other during the Pittsburgh Knights Invitational, and on Bind, and it ended 13-10. So it was very close, and it was GENG who was able to get that victory, but only by 3 rounds. So that's any indication. I think it's going to be a lot closer, but I think I'm with you guys. I want to be with Charlotte Phoenix. I really do. Because, you know, they're a team that I think has a ton of potential, but I think GENG is just going to get the competitive edge. But we'll definitely find out as they will be starting off on the attacking side once again. Either way, win rates are fantastic for both teams when it comes to Bind. And hey, there's only 4 maps, so at the end of the day, this is one of the bread and butter maps for both teams. So you know they're going to be very well versed regardless who ended up getting this map pick. But hey, the game is going to get started very soon. Do or die moment for the boys on Charlotte Phoenix. If they don't win this, they are out. GENG moves forward to semifinals. Either way, let's go and get it started. You guys take it away.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Reflections. And yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited because you know what, guys, we have ourselves. Oh man, I'm really to the side here. I'm like, oh, let me fix my camera. We have ourselves an upset opportunity here for Charlotte Phoenix. Will it happen? Hard to say, but let's jump into the action. No more resident sleepers in the chat, guys. Although, you know, please listen to my Valorant podcast. I'm kidding. I don't have one. I think that
Start the game,
Charlotte,
GB.
Start the game, bro. I think that Charlotte Phoenix actually has a chance to make this a very competitive matchup, Bala.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for because so far all the games that we've casted GB, I know that you were saying you weren't feeling it, but I think that's just the boomer coming through when you want to get to sleep. But we always want to see some competitive Valorant, some close games because they get so exciting. But one thing's for certain is that to have exciting moments like this, we also have to have the quiet moments, which is Charlotte Phoenix going down a little bit earlier in that first map. This time, if it's closer, we could get some tension, essentially, and we are going to see a 3-smoke execute down straight into this A site from GENG. 2 players coming out to bathrooms. The smoke is over towards Heaven. GMD pounces, and they might get around the corner. Anger does trade, and Mikhail will get 2. And all of a sudden, things are looking good. There's a TP, so KZ is coming in from the backside.
And they're just going to look to work around this flank now. Also, look out for Win, who's going to be further out, too. I don't think that they're going to really be dealing with him right now this second, though. More players are going to be stacked away inside of the lamps rooms, as you can see in front of your screen there, KZ. He's playing all the angles, though, just being cautious and concerned as to where this could possibly be. Great read, though, from Win, actually, is going to play that recon dart and get them so much information that they can then jump right on top of them like the pack of wolves that they are.
And that was well done from Mikhail on all sides. Not only the entries to start that off as they came through that connector into spawn, but also pushing through U-Haul, knowing that they didn't have the control because they had so many people flanking, and now even coming down through shorts. Means that they have more control through U-Haul. They have this rotation that they can play, and he comes in the flanks to solidify the round. Well done from GENG, and off to a good start.
Once again, this is familiar territory for GENG. They were in this earlier in the last game when they were just rolling off of the momentum that they were able to get on their attacks round after round after round. And as you know, off screen, right, you get the coordination, A site's wide open. They're going to do their due diligence around here, but the damage has certainly been done. We know that it's available to them. The Sova drone's also going to give them a ton of intel as to what's located around there. And they're going to play this very cautious double smoke pop, not using their walls, just looking to go with it with the smokes. On the flank, though, you have a few members. They're going to get aggressive here. Player one is going to encounter Spirit right away, but he's going to make easy pickings of him. Another one as well. And player one, the only player we should be talking about in this round thus far, has been amazing. And now it's just KZ with the shorty. Oh, the shorty. And player one, again, another headshot. Just needed 3 bullets in the chamber there, Balla.
That was nice shots, little one taps around the corners on all the flankers coming out of Charlotte Phoenix. And same story we saw on the Haven map, which was essentially Charlotte Phoenix attempting these play with Anger, with KZ, with Spirit, who was playing Sage last time. Ending, oh, sorry, he was actually playing Sova. Who was playing the Sage? Regardless, there's none. So this is interesting. But what I'm basically saying, they made these eco approaches. 3 down bathroom that time, and it was shut down quickly by GMD and Mikhail, who are working this straight into this. They get him in the corner, and there's going to be a molly here. Jet's going to be able to get out, but his Raze, no. She has to just use the paint shells. And they trade. Actually, not even. It's 2 players getting a little damaged, and even 1 kill coming out for GENG, clearing out the bathrooms well, and now they have the room. The Owl Drone's clearing out Hookah. They're starting to put a little pressure on towards B, but I think it might be an approach towards A. Again, 3 smoke execute available, and possibly no response, though this time, Jet is at the U-Haul position.
Nice shot from player one. Effie's did tag him up a little bit there. And that owl drone over on Hookah that you mentioned in passing, that was actually a really important owl drone because it just gave them information. Someone was there. Actually, I think it spotted both players that were there. So they knew that they could just take full advantage of this. And I also like the idea of them giving the plant here to GMD 1 step closer to that run it back. Win inside of lamps. I believe it's going to be Spirit that push up. Everyone's inside of lamps. I don't know what this... They must really like this particular store and whatever business they provide. It's a little concerning here. But they are all inside of there, and it works out for them. Spirit now on the full flank. We'll run into player one here in a second. Player one's been shooting like a champion lately, and he's going to do that again. Another headshot for player one, and another win for GENG.
Okay. Let's back it up a little bit. I'm realizing a couple things about the comp. No Sage, no Cypher, who I'm pretty sure had a 100% pick rate in this tournament up to this point, and pretty much in every tournament that we've seen so far in Valorant. No Cypher here on Bind, and that kind of shows why that GENG side is a little bit more confident to push through onto these sites. They don't have to spend the time shock darting the trap wires down. They don't have to spend the time walking up close. They can kind of just work the execute and go for it. It's player one again. 1 shot starts it off, and he hits the wall bang as well. 3-0, probably going to be 4-0, as there's no weapons available for them to even pick up on the Charlotte Phoenix side.
There is a reason why you want controllers. And no, I'm not talking about an Xbox or PlayStation 4 control. I'm talking about
you get PTSD right there.
And there you go. Sorry, Fortnite guy. Sage and Cypher. Are you serious? Not running those agents. And one of them, at least one of them. Cypher is so important. And in the last game, I believe it was Churms that was running Cypher. And he didn't really have a lot of success. And I don't think they're having that much success here either. You're just giving up a lot of control on the site. I know it's like, oh, they're controllers, obviously. But what I'm saying is they're there for a reason. You need that. If you just smoke everything out, they're just going to freely go in there and push. You have no info gathering besides a Sova if you manage to land an arrow and it doesn't get destroyed in an instant. So this is clearly, I mean, I don't even know if this is like good for attack. I'm just really wondering the composition as a whole, like why this is their game plan, or like what the intention is here, you know?
Yeah, definitely a lot of questions. Maybe just a kind of gamble, try to catch them off guard. Maybe GENG was going to get a little cheeky with their picks and have a little counterplay. I don't know. I haven't really seen that be a thing in Valorant. Obviously, the gunplay out trumps everything, but again, first down short. We have run it back active. He's going to flash him off. He does get the shot, so GMD has to get sent back. Quinn through as well. There's the smokes. But Terms is up above. He's going to get 2. He's going to get 3. All of them coming out of short are down. That's a spike. The last 2 players is GMD and Mikhail in bathrooms. And they've worked picks here before, but not when all 3 members who are working the other side of the A site are down.
So while I still think that the concern regarding the composition is definitely valid, Terms already with that one play, I think in the last game went like 4 and 15 or something. So Terms already having a way better game here on the Rays. Make that 4. Terms can get an ace here. Get this team to show some life in the early round. But player 1, he keeps hitting those nasty shots. Spirit's there for the pickup though, and that is going to be the first round win here for Charlotte Phoenix. They needed this one because last time losing 8 straight like that, you can't let that happen.
Yeah, so they stopped the bleeding much earlier, which is a very good sign because remember they started to come back. I mean, if they had stopped the bleeding on Haven at this point, that match could have looked quite different. It could have been Charlotte Phoenix in the lead. So hopefully that's what we're seeing.
So double opping for Charlotte Phoenix too.
I think that could work out really well, especially with double smokes. JMD's doing such a good job pushing this bathrooms play back. That paint shell should have come in a little bit earlier, but he was worried about getting back away in case he did peek that angle.
Spirit's going to need to get in an angle for this op. So they got an op over on A or on B that they have identified. 2 players moving over on the flank, and then you're going to leave Terms over at A. But their attention is going to be centered toward B right now. Spirit scouts out on B long, doesn't see anything for the time being. Doesn't mean in his eyes that they're necessarily not there, but I think that they feel pretty confident that they could start moving some resources over to the A site if need be. 2 smokes played out. These are the smokes that they like to use. Terms is going to be inside of lamps. Second flash now for GMD. He's going to get inside of here, and Terms has revealed his positioning, and it's going to be player 1. But Anger, put 2. Effie shuts that one down. KZ over in the back. They need to get this spike in play, which they do successfully. 3 players now are going to be swarming on A site. Win. What a shot from him. Oh, man, if he just got there at the nick of time, he would have been able to get that shot off. But they at least know where he is. So Paranoia played, but no follow-up. And Win right through the smoke, man. He's just nasty with it.
Shock
needs
darts.
to pop off. Yeah,
He's set up for shock darts.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and that was just a... It was slow, it was painful to watch, but it felt so good for GENG to get that round win.
Yeah. That was nice. Nicely done.
Painful to watch for Charlotte Phoenix.
Either way. They now lose that. What seemed like they were going to break the momentum of GENG. They've been approaching this A side every single time.
Too. Double
ops,
yeah. Very pricey.
It is, and I think that they've got to get that rolling if they really want to get this double smoke setup to work. Cypherless and Sageless. Just not something you normally see. Terms tries to get something down in short, but it doesn't work out. Just the dink onto Mikhail. And from here, even neural thefts. This is perfect on anti-ecos because you know Charlotte Phoenix is one team to stack or to push a certain spot. And with all the information now, they can kind of work around it, but they're still scattered. And KZ has gotten a lot of space. Effie's finally puts him down, but that was looking scary for a moment. And now all the time that they've spent putting him back is wasted. They don't have the information that they had earlier. GMD, though, up close and hookah finds Spirit, and they know now where Shots is, and you either have to back up or try to get off 5 at this point.
And he's become a superhero here. Unfortunately, that's only in comic books. 1 player left, pushing around. Anger Not going to happen there. And GENG will get another round win. Continuing to add on here. What does Charlotte Phoenix look to do? Same defensive hold here. They're not changing anything up. I can understand maybe the Cypher. I can understand maybe the Sage. But what I can't understand is both. They're just too good. At least if you had a Cypher on A site, and maybe the logic could be that, you know, paint shells will deny them any control into shower, but GMD's just been winning that orb battle every single time and continuing to get it back. And there's been little to no response there from Churms. Right? He just keeps baiting it out. I know that he's going to be there, and they're splitting this one up nicely. So Spirit, though, with a shot on Effie's, gives them some breathing room here. They also have an orbital strike, too, so this could look like a win if they decide to get onto the site. Win, though. Nails Churms from downtown. Also put down some damage, too, on that player. That was actually going to be KZ on the other side. GMD's going for this one. He's going to have a stun KZ. And GMD, right at the end of his run it back, will get the kill on a weakened Jet. But no spike down yet.
Yeah, and that's because Anger mollied the spot that he wanted to plant on, and he still has the orbital strike. He had it out, but they don't even go for it. He's going to fake the plant, and he's going to peek it anyways. GMD, though, in bathrooms, trades that. They got the spike down now, but look at the position. The other player is all the way down short A. Have GMD still working the bathroom. This could actually work as long as he doesn't peek out. There's the recon bolts. GMD will die, though, to the hands of Spirit. And now it should be an easy retake as Omen has already come over here. 13 seconds. He has to grab the spike, that swing, and plant. Owl drone out. He sees it. Recon bolt 2. He can spray through the box now. He has to try to find 2. They denied the plant. The shots will swing around the corner to finish that off. The second now for Charlotte Phoenix.
And look at their double out effect.
Yep.
This, you know, look, that Spirit has been great in this series. I think there have been a few moments where Spirit really shined. And I know that Casey's kind of just having a bit of a slower game here, but I am expecting him to begin to find some frags with this op. And it might actually come with this, because now they're going to give him a different look inside of the showers. GMD is going to poke this one out, and I think KZ backs away, but would have been great to see KZ get aggressive rather than let them have that space.
He's been punished before by getting a little too aggressive here in bathrooms. So I think he's being a little bit more cautious, and it worked out, right? Every time that they actually have players on this A site that are able to challenge through U-Haul, this 3 smoke thing doesn't necessarily work out. Here it comes again. Sherms this time is working in bathroom. He's going to look back, but they're going to get that wall down and plants. And then the peek through. Mikhail's going to get him. He's going to get 2. They deny the plant with the orbital strike, but don't find any damage, which is important. All up still. Shots going to in the shadows behind him. He does take out the big flank that was so important. Here's a paranoia off the side as well. Win with 1 as things slow down, but 4 players from GENG are positioned optimally on this retake.
Win has.
Oh
yeah, no, Win just was reading that one. He knew exactly where KZ was going to be, and Win has been a surgeon with that op, putting all those shots everywhere that he wants it to go. He's threading the needle wide open. It doesn't matter. Win's hitting them all. He's hitting all the shots.
That he is, and player 1 too. A couple of different people on GENG are hitting the shots that they need. You even see GMD really dominating that shower's position and getting aggressive through smokes. A lot of things going right for GENG clearly as we look at the score line, 7-2, and they even still have the potential to keep it where it was on Haven. My goodness. The attacking side pick from GENG clearly working out here on Binds, and they were gifted it on Haven because that was Charlotte Phoenix's pick.
But again, the conversation needs to be around the composition. They are allowing them to be able to freely walk onto sites because the only thing that can slow them down are some smokes and a molly. you know, the nades have been tossed out early a few times, so you can't really bank on that. This first bloods have just been going over for Player One and company so many times. And they're able to just march and move quickly onto sites here, no matter what they do, because there's no amount of stall that they could possibly put forward here. GMD now knows exactly where they're going to be. Now, this is where if GMD in a corner has to be careful, but even then doesn't get tagged up a little bit. Win catches one off of the portal there. You ain't going to get much out of that one, and that is another flawless round for GENG, because there's nothing that could stop them from getting onto site.
And that was desperation, too, from Charlotte Phoenix. You saw Spirit run through that smoke in a 1v5 situation rather than trying to save his weapon or think about the situation, maybe dive to drop the spike, but there was still time on the board. You saw people coming through the hookah TP as fast as possible to try to get a good flank. Things are falling apart from the 2 rounds that we saw a little bit earlier. Now GENG seems to be back in the driver's seat. And by the hands of Win and pretty much everybody on this side. Spirit, they're going to get aggressive down long beat. They're going to slow, but they back off completely. Spirit does get the information, though. He might even want to get even further up here. His Terms is still holding off GMD in bathrooms.
Them pushing out on Belong now will allow them to use a paranoia onto short, but they're going to have to move very quickly. Orbital Strike is going to be out and in play here. No kills quite yet. Casey does get a kill, but it's going to be Huyn and Effys who managed to pick up 2. From the flank is going to be coming your Omen and your Sova. And then Anger with the Elder Flame. Inside of this, inside of Lamps, I was going to say, I think he was looking for any kind of info that he could get out of this one. But off of the flank they go. No spike down just yet, and they can move around to the B side if they want to.
What a weird situation. 2 players on the flank after they've gotten the A site. They're going to run through that TP. Timing is going to be so that Shots is not going to see anything as they cross the Huyn. Low HP, that could be dangerous. It's going to be both players coming on the attacking side of the map. Shots through hookah, actually both through hookah.
Lots of shenanigans right now. Teleport onto site, but he's going to go right into the hands of Huyn there, who was waiting for him. Spirit, though, maybe with the op, he's got a few shots to work with here. Let's get some information. That shot just a little bit wide, but oh no, Spirit. Oh, just as you were hoping that some life here for Charlotte Phoenix would emerge, it is ripped away by Effys, ironically playing Sage, the one who gives life. So 9-2 in the count here, and it looks like a splitting image of what we were seeing on Haven.
Yeah, maybe. I think they're going to improve on the half. I think they might bring it to 10-2 instead of the 9-3 last time.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something about Charlotte Phoenix. I was like, wait, what?
No. I think they're losing hope, man. I'm seeing people dash through smokes on an A take instead of playing retake together. I'm seeing people, give up and try to fight a 1v5 rather than saving your weapon. Like, I see all hope lost for Charlotte Phoenix in the way that they're playing, rather than, some ideas or some last-second innovations. And it's only pistols here on this final round as well, Spectres as well, probably light armor too. Shots will find another one on the flank. He's been doing this the last couple rounds, and now they've put GENG in an awkward position as they have to fight this again, but they haven't actually taken the site like last time.
Casey corrected that shot on Michael, but Effys was there to trade it out again. Here comes Spirit, though. He's been this hero for this team. One's going to be on default, and another one right by the ice wall there. It's all up to Anger. He's got a sheriff. No one's really weakened enough, though. Anger's hearing all this movement. Now Spectre picked up. But GMD looked at the perfect time. 10-2. GENG could be walking away with this one, going into the semifinals, confidently awaiting the winner of Sentinels and Immortals.
Yeah, I would say they lost their confidence after map 1, but no, they bring it right back. And you're right. now they move to defense. Now all they've got to do is get 3 rounds on defense, which I think they should be able to do pretty easily. Unfortunately, Charlotte Phoenix's story might be ending here right now.
Well, let's see what their plan is, because perhaps this is an attack composition. Focus more, and well, even then though, I mean, there's no flashes. There's, I mean, if you had a Phoenix, maybe you Phoenix with the paranoia, but you only really have one blinding tool. You got some keep away with the Sova. They're grouped up over here. Just looking to get right into the long. Terms looking to force out now. And this is going to work out for them, but they just push forward. They just hold W on their keyboards and they just push forward and they manage to get themselves some kills. Now they're going to have to retake the site back up. And that was just a weird one. But hey, I mean, I guess it works out very well for Gen G, as they're just all sticking around one another.
5 players on defense jumping out a hookah window. What is going on right now? GMD will get angered. And it's all left to shots as they take that easy retake. Although a situation I don't think I've ever seen, maybe starting to take things a little not too seriously. Whatever, it works. 5 through hookah, nothing to stop them.
Just 5-man push through hookah. Nothing there to, yeah, nothing to stop them. Because even then, right? Even then, that's when the fault of this composition is played out, because you get site control. You don't have a Cypher. You don't have a Sage. Nothing to stall them. Because that play would be punished if there was a controller at play there. Maybe I'm getting too hung up on it. Maybe they're just fragging them out. And that's it.
I mean, they even had the smoke, but they just kind of played it, right? The smoke from Omen kind of worked a little bit, I guess. But nah. In any case, anything that they get is a little too late. All 5 players through hookah again. It looks like we're playing a game of ARAM, even with the comps. All random, all mid. Let's go. There's the
Go for it.
GMD.
Oh,
Three
GMD.
kills.
Oh, GMD. Oh, Effie's, you horrible person, man. You're a terrible teammate. How could you take that from him? Match point now for Gen G. 1 more left, and they will be awaiting the winner of Sentinels and Immortals.
Oh, man.
Just absurd, man.
At least we're getting some entertainment in the final rounds now that we stopped taking it a little too seriously. But man, oh man, were these 2 best of 3s that we've just been watching a little bit lackluster. But hey, you can't win them all. And we're just seeing the difference right here for Gen G and a team like Charlotte Phoenix, the teams that will be making it through the quarterfinals. No upset here. This is what we expected, but maybe not at this level of stomp for Gen G again, down short.
Quick flash. Fun times. Fun times. Well, now we're going to be a match point here, and they do have some guns. Try and make something happen here, but it is going to be so challenging given how Gen G, they're playing with just a lot of confidence. Trade out. Spirit does get the kill on Mikhail, but already Effie's is there to help out. Slow coming through this, and now things are starting to brighten up. GMD on site. Shots so weak, by the way. That hurts. Losing KZ. You have some weakened players here. Oh dear. Things starting to fall apart. Now it's just going to be player 1.
Please. Put me out of my misery. Both players slow. We got a Molly in sight as well. Do it to him, player 1.
Oh. Doesn't happen. Balla. Doesn't happen.
I tried. Tried to give him my energy, but alas.
Try to send it over there, man.
We have to go 1 more round.
There is there have been some high points to take away for Charlotte Phoenix and Haven. I think that everything kind of just they just struggle to get any kind of like ball rolling, right? I mean, I know this seems like the most obvious statement in the world. Thank you, Captain Obvious, but it's like it's true. They just struggle. This is the kind of attack that I wanted to see from them or this is just really the kind of play in general that I wanted to see from this team. Because if you have a composition like this, just get a little bit more aggressive. Don't give them too much space to work with.
Yeah, just hit 2 shots through the smoke, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the man advantage towards Charlotte Phoenix. They've got the B site again. But we've seen how this has happened. Atfies is going to be stuck in long. He's getting the spike, but gets traded out. So KZ's going to be able to retrieve that and bring it back in. Spirit on top of the box. He gets the one in spawn. It's all left to Miguel, and he grabs spike again. Now they have to cross in his sights. And he's possibly about to pull off a 1v4 based on how this is split up.
Oh, dear.
He catches the paint shell on the face, right on the head, and that's cue for him to back up. He gives up the spike, and now things are almost probably impossible, but we've seen crazier things.
Indeed we have. Indeed we have. All right. So another round win here for Charlotte Phoenix. They're just trying to fight back as best they can. This is literally what happened on Haven. Same thing. They were just round by round fighting back, and we felt confident about them for bind, and then game started. You know, things just weren't making a lot of sense.
All right, GB, I'm going to flex my caster muscles right here, okay?
Go for it, man, because no one wants to hear from me.
We're going to hear the caster's curse. It's a comeback. It's starting.
Oh my god. Just literally cursed it. Right there. Caster curse, player 1 comes around corner, headshots with a share. Oh man.
Come on, guys. 5-head play from the caster.
Oh, sweet lord. Okay, so they get out of there. They are tagged up. So it's very weak. GMD has some control of the mid there, but it's not really going to be all that much he can get out of that one. Do get inside of long, and they're just all stacked. Perhaps they're just going to all go for a TP through if they realize this is not going to work out for them. And then they'll just all teleport through this and back away. They're just pinned. They're all tucked away and pinned inside of this.
GMD just got all the info, too.
Yeah.
Spirit is going to be hunting spearing on the site, get a little bit of damage, but he got all the info that it's not going to be A. That means the Cypher's rotating off as well. They could go through the portal, though, and that's what they're going to do. Yes! All 3. But GMD is there!
GMD! I thought you saw it.
He's trapped.
Oh, no.
And perfect.
Oh, no.
My goodness. There you go. The caster's cursing works. 13-4. GENG is going to move on to the semifinals. The game is over. And finally it happens. Charlotte Phoenix, unfortunately, are now down and out, but not before a pretty, a